against former ANC MP Vincent Smith. It's been postponed to the 19th of April for pre-trial. He's been charged with corruption for gratifications he allegedly received from Bosasa in the form of security upgrades to his home in Gauteng. He also is charged with tax fraud, money laundering, corruption and breaching the Financial Intelligence Center Act. Pelane Phakgadi is at the High Court. He attended that court case. Pelane, good morning to you. You'll tell us the reason for such a long postponement to a pre-trial April next year. While you explain that part, where is Angelo Agrizzi? Because that's the person Mr. Smith was charged alongside.
I can tell you that as far as the Angelo Agrizzi case, you do know that at the 2nd of December, together with Linda Mti, that they have that particular correctional services case that they have against them, and they will be in court. They should be in court rather on the 2nd of December. That is when the due date is. And of course, the other matters as far as the Bosasa gate is concerned, Angelo Agrizzi should be in court by the end of January again. But of course, we do know that he is ill, and of course his appearance will be subject to him improving from his illness, and of course if the courts as well believe that he is ready to come forward and face the questions. But of course here in court where we are today, Vincent Smith, he was in court very briefly. I can tell about 2 to 3 minutes. That is the duration of the court processes. It was just a request really from the state that the case be postponed, and in agreement with the advocate, of course, for Vincent Smith, I think it has now been forwarded to the 19th of April. Let me bring in, of course, the Investigating Directorate spokesperson, Sindisiwe Sebuka, just to give us an update. I mean, just remind us of some of these particular charges that Vincent Smith is facing, while we also go on some of the reasons why you asked for such a long postponement to the April 19th.
So for starters, this matter is two-pronged. The first part pertains to the 800,000 that we're alleging he received from Bosasa and or Angelo Agrizzi as a form of gratification for his influence when he was then part of Parliament and he was head of a particular committee. Additionally, the second part, with that particular part rather, he then stands charged with corruption. The second part of his matter pertains to the tax fraud charges that we added sometime last year, which pertain to undisclosed tax amounts to the taxman to the value of about over 20 million rand between the period of 2009 up until 2018, so just under a decade of undisclosed taxes from his company Euroblitz as well as in his personal capacity. So the matter also looks at the tax fraud charges, which means that we worked hand in glove with the taxman in order to add those charges, and then he stands accused of fraud in that respect. The reason we requested a lengthy postponement is through consultation between ourselves as well as his legal representative, looking at the dates available for both parties. April was then agreed on. So it's not necessarily that we're requesting more time, but it was more so looking at both diaries and availabilities of the legal reps.
Pre-trial it is?
Yes, at the next appearance in April, I think the 19th, we're going to be back in court for pre-trial in anticipation of the trial, unless, of course, Mr. Vincent Smith decides to plead guilty.
Definitely. Thank you very much. That's Sindisiwe Sebuka there. Of course, just throwing some spin in the works there, just saying that unless Vincent Smith does plead guilty. And I can tell you that just a few moments ago, before he departed from here, we were speaking to him, and he has every intention to fight until the later part of the trial, so that he can try to clear his name, as he put it. He came to us saying that he intends to bring this matter to trial, and it has just been too long that the matter has been postponed. And this time around, there's an agreement on the pre-trial date, and that is to the 19th of April. So he has to wait some few more months. And of course, if he has any National Executive Committee ambitions to be part of the African National Congress, that will not be part, because any person who's charged and is a member of the ANC will not be part of the coming African National Congress 55th National Conference. And that is if the prescripts and the so-called step-aside rule is to go by. Oli?
All right, that's Pelane Phakgadi, our reporter there, covering that story for us. Thank you very much indeed for that update. Let's